All right, moving on. So now that we've established that penis size doesn't really matter, it's the spirit, and that this is a part of it, certainly, because these people are eugenicists. Hitler measured skulls. You think the Nazis in their sex crazed activities only measured skulls, and they weren't concerned with anything else in their occult, sex cult, reproductive sun cycle perspective? Of course they weren't. All right. So, moving on, you know, the ball arena, right? The arena. Um, it goes back to football, right? The Coliseum, the arena, soccer, baseball, basketball, tennis racket, a court, the court system, right? It's like a game to them, which favors the white man, like tennis, and certain figures like soccer, okay? Me, personally, as long as people understand these are just games and these people aren't supposed to be elevated above the light temple warrior spirit of a warrior, spirit warrior, that's fine. But when we start elevating these people and other celebrities and American idols, okay, on a flag that has no sun, above the sun himself because he's black, because the sun gave us melanin to a larger degree. We were marked by the sun. So in a world that favors darkness and constellations which you see at night, of course the sun, the people of the sun are accursed, just like Jesus was. He became a curse. And of course, in the background is the rising sun. He's worshipped on Sunday. And on Saturday, okay, you see this thing playing out, right? You sleep with a woman after you come back from the club. What day is it? If on Friday you go to the club and it doesn't close till 2, what day is it when you sleep with women? If you have to go to church on Sunday and you're less likely to sleep with them Saturday night or Sunday morning after Saturday night than Friday night, what day do you end up sleeping? So people end up sleeping with women at the night club. Knight in shining armor? No. Knight, the bull that covers the lights, right? Armored, unnatural armor, right? Night club, the Club of Rome, a big caveman club, okay? Which has to do with rock and roll, heavy metal, right? Being big and strong and slow and not stick and move, right? No stick. No stick. Stick and move. Coordinate, right? Coordinate. Stick and move. And obviously, I can't move that quickly without injuring myself because they're crippling me with their drugs. And it doesn't take a genius to see that they've done that in more than one way. If you don't believe they're covertly drugging me, I've already proven definitively that they're trying to make me take psych meds every day. And they've been successful to a large extent. And it's all their drugs, one way or another, have crippled me, have caused me to go blind to a certain extent, photophobia rather, and so on. So the sun molds things and puts them in place, right? It puts them in place and in motion. The sun energizes. Go to the beach. People doing their bodyboarding, their surfboarding, etc. Right? And of course, you can think about the bank, right? A river bank, the Nile Delta, the different banks there, the banks plural. Bank shot off the backboard. Okay, and even backwards, right? A psych ward, a ward, right? Backwards. A backflip, presentation. Okay, so, and of course, when you can even read the book Fighting for Honor, sometimes when the capoeiristas were doing their presentations, they would hurt themselves, sometimes fatally, trying to show off. So presentation and doing these extra flips and all this stuff, it helps prove your point of your agility and your dexterity, but it's also a setup. Let's get these guys to focus on presentation, these tall guys who can beat us, and the bigger they are, the harder they fall. Babylon the Great has fallen and has become the dwelling place of every unclean and detestable spirit. Egypt went from Abraham, why didn't you tell me Sarah was your wife, to I'm going to kill the firstborn so I can have your women. Obviously, Egypt fell for the same light temple war artist related reason that Babylon did. Understand? All right. So pimples, right? Pimp lies, pimp L's. It has to do with temperaments. People have theorized that pimples have to do with testosterone, puberty, things related to chemistry in the body, which inevitably they do. Ironically, it is the white man, and I'm not racist, talking about chemical imbalances, who breaks out with pimples as a result of chemical imbalances related to the sun, the most important star, the bright morning star that is not on the flag. All right. So Set had to do with brute force. He had red hair and red eyes. Okay. You can draw parallels to red pimples on a pink face or pinkish red face. Again, I am not racist. This is the story. Do you think I would give a shit about pointing out this scientific stuff if I didn't have to prove my point in a scientific world that is cheating me and my family out of their rightful places so they can study me? They have me in the middle of nowhere in a bowl-shaped area. I can't explain more than that. Where they can study me and suppress me. Keep the sun from rising up after we kill the father. Because Osiris was the guy trying to give away stuff and be friends with everyone and love them, the X, right? Make an X inside of a square, you get 360 degrees. Just like a square, it's 360 degrees. 90, 90, 90, 90. The X. Okay, do the angles, work all the angles, right? The X itself also represents 360 degrees, which represents the sun, which represents the O, the fair O. Mirror, mirror on the wall, who is the fairest of them all? Who is the fairest, right? What makes someone more beautiful? If she comes from generations of noble, light, temple princesses who have reproduced in a way that is reproducing up toward the sun, with the sun making her beautiful and she's shining bright naturally. Okay, not necessarily black. I actually prefer non-black women to black women, partially because of eugenics inevitably, and the murder, the rape, and the assimilation of black women, and the suicide of black attractive women after they got raped by the masters. Typically they would be taken from this, and the young masters, like in the book Fighting for Honor, would all have a run at her. Okay, so Set's cult capital was called Nupt, and it later became Ombos, Com Obos, and Hor became Hor Nupti when he defeated Set. Okay, the face of Nupti. Cum Obos can also be seen as Ka of Ebos, or Cum Obi, or Ka of Oba, or Ka of Ebo, or Cum Ebo. Okay, anyway. So Obi, 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 Oba, and Ibo are all things related to my tribe. They're all different spellings, interchangeable vowels. Okay. So that goes back to psychosis and metamorphosis, right? The interchangeable vowels. Hebrew has no vowels. What do the vowels represent? The dynamic state of man. And we can say, what direction are we building toward? Are we building toward the ground, to the earth? Are we becoming subterranean? Subway? In the dust? Are we returning to the dust spiritually? Or are we building toward the light? We are descendants descending down the rabbit hole. Rabbit hole. And what happens? Well, the rabbit hole is the woman. Her vagina, right? That's the rabbit's hole. The rabbit is a symbol of reproduction, right? Easter eggs, Playboy bunnies, the hare, Harus, Harus, Horus, Haru, Hair A, Hara, heir A, the heir to the throne, okay? And who controls reproduction? Who sets the policies that affect reproduction one way or another? It reminds me of, I think it was Braveheart, where they said that the English nobles or whoever made a rule where they can have sex with the people's wives on their wedding day. Okay, this is nothing new. This is about reproduction. Sophia, Sophie, C-Fo-A, okay? Zodiac. Okay, C-A-I-D, us. Okay, part of this is a ritual. Identify the pharaoh, and in the tradition of snaking the pharaoh and destroying the solar boat, let us kind of lightweight spell it out to him subtly in different ways and see him act up and see that spirit come up, and then let's destroy that spirit of Ra that he represents. So inevitably, as man doesn't stand with me, as women don't overlook my flaws, whatever they may be as a result of what they've done to me, if they don't overlook where I've stumbled, and they turn for the sake of their flesh and their descendants, they descend down. You know them by their works. Do you not have a child because you're too honorable? Do you Teach your child to fight to the death, thus ending your downward descension? Or are you an angle that was working downward, a fallen angel, so to speak, the spirit of someone going down? Why are the sons of God and the fallen angels interchangeable? Because those who continue to breed and to defy the divine logos and to teach their children how to be a modern woman, a modern person, they go to hell. And the evidence, when God looks at this earth, who's still around and why? In a dog eat dog society, in a snake bite baby hawk society, in a serpent, in a python swallow the eggs of the hawk society, who is still around and why?